has overcome the lies, the good news of His Majesty in His Christ. And it is vital that we raise our tribal flag, the flag of the conquering lion of the tribe of Yehuda.
Millions of Christians throughout the world, Your Imperial Majesty, will regard you as the reincarnation of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, doing this one on the run. Gotta do this one on the run, so we're gonna be a little quick on this. Well, we just saw this picture of Obama on the New Time magazine, the New Deal. So it's kind of obvious, you know, we're going into the New World Order. You understand? Under Obama, but Bush and the Bushes and others and everybody else are all very instrumental. Could be also a reason why Doomberg want to keep his position. You know, it's like when you're playing a game. You know, you want to make sure you got your best, your star players. A lot of people from the Clinton thing are being brought back on board and everything like that. And so just get ready, brace yourself. We're about to go into a New World Order. Those things that you heard about have been kind of freshened up and repackaged and everything. And there's going to be some crises and so forth and so on. But actually, since we're on the run right now, we want to touch on ancient Egypt. Ancient Egypt and the so-called mythology or theology. You understand? One of the Osirian theologies. You understand? And how it intimately connects with His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie, and in particular with Imperial Ethiopia. You remember in the legend of Osiris and Isis and Seth and Heteru and Neptis as well. Okay, remember there was Set who killed his brother. You understand? Seth. You understand? Or Sate, you understand, who killed his brother, and that was Asar. And you remember how the whole legend goes, basically, that he was jealous of him, so he had this like box and everything that was made like a kind of a coffin or some kind of a box that was all glittered up with gold, and he had this big party, Seth did, and what he wanted to do, he had measured secretly, he had measured Osiris, you understand? He had measured Osiris, who was his like brother in some of the legends, and is his uncle in the other legends. So he measured him, and then he created this box and everything, and he had a bunch of dinner guests, and he said, well, you know, who can fit in this box who will become the owner of the box? So everybody tried, and finally Asar, you understand, Osiris, he tried, and when he got in the box, the first thing that Seth, he had some people on the side, you know, standing on the side and everything, who was working with him in this conspiracy. It was a conspiracy against their brother, the so-called rightful heir, Asar. Remember, this is like the older version. You understand? In the older version, there's different versions of, just like the different version of Christianity today. There were different versions of the Osirian and the ancient Egyptian, Osiris, Isis, Horus, Seti, you understand, whole mythology and everything like that. Anyway, when Osiris got in this box, the box was slammed shut, you understand, and then it was sent away. Some say it was sent away, you understand, but then it washed up on shore, and some of the legend, then it was dismembered. He was cut into 14 pieces. The main part that we want to connect is the 14 pieces thing. Have you looked at the provinces of Ethiopia? The 14 pieces, you understand, of Osiris, and remember, there's the missing obelisk, you understand, which was said in some of the priestical interpretations from ancient Egypt. It is said to have been swallowed up by a fish. Now I want you to keep in mind and take note of Dagon and the connection with Dagon, the two Babylons, with the Roman Catholic Church. All right, remember the connection with Ethiopia, the ancient Osirian legend. Some say it was something that happened already. But how do we know that it wasn't a prophecy of something to happen? How do we know that it wasn't a parable or a proverb, you understand, that was really forth-telling on future prophetic events? Because most historians and Egyptologists or Egyptists, you understand, they basically tell us that it was something that did happen long time ago, but how do we know that it's not really a parable of something to happen or a prophecy? the connection with Ethiopia, you understand, the headwaters of the Nile, where the original Nu and the elders, the elder gods, and even it said that Asar and Set or Set actually. The interesting thing is Sate in Amharic means both Seth, Tekka, which was the replacement of Abel, who was killed by Cain, the red eye and envious, and Sate also means woman. You understand? Woman. So it's very interesting that a male character in ancient Egyptian legend is called woman. Now, woman has two values, like man does in scripture. It could be either good or it could be bad. In the ethically bad sense, a woman, like when you read in Proverbs, woman is used as wisdom, you understand, the feminine aspect, and then there's a negative wisdom which leads to hell and to death, you understand, which basically discloses the positive and negative interpretation, positive interpretation or negative misinterpretation of scripture, of the word, of truth, of life, of reality. But now look at the province of Ethiopia. Until 1995, Ethiopia was divided into provinces and further subdivided into rajas or districts. All right, they were replaced by regions and two chartered cities with the adoption of a new constitution that year, 1995. Right now, Eritrea or Eritrea, you understand, was an Ethiopian province until 1993. You understand, but from 1942. All right, after Liberation Day until 1995, the provinces of Ethiopia were Arsi, Bale, Begimda, Gamu, Gofa, Gojam, Harage, Lubador, Kefa, Showa, Sidamo, Tigray, Walega, and Wolo. You understand? It's interesting because there's 13. There's 13 of them. Remember, we didn't name Eritrea. You understand? Eritrea. Or Eritrea, you understand, which was part of Ethiopia, you understand, in ancient times. You know, some Eritreans, because of the whole political situation and everything like that, and either their Roman Catholicism or their Italian love of chow and, you know, pasta and pizza or whatever like that, you know, they basically say that they're different than Ethiopia. There's a whole war going on amongst, you know, the tribal war and everything. You understand? That is a whole other issue. The issue right here is the fact that Ethiopia was divided into 14 provinces. Well, some will say 13 from 1942 to 1995, but then when we recognize that Ethiopia province is Eritrea, you understand, and that was until 1993. Some will say, well, that's because of Haile Selassie and the United Nations, and he was able to negotiate this and that. He was able to prove the fact that before the Italians and the British and the other Europeans, you understand, invaded the Horn of Africa and played tribe against tribe, divided brother against brother, you understand, this was all one Horn of Africa. You understand? It's like trying to chip off a piece of your gold or whatever. But anyway, 14 provinces. There were 14 provinces. Now, what about the missing phallus? The phallus, or the so-called obelisk, or the stela, or the howlet. What about this missing howlet? It's interesting because in scripture, Jacob's ladder, Yaakov's ladder, is a howlet or a stela, or what's called nowadays an obelisk. We don't like to use obelisk too much because it means basically the penis of Baal. You understand? Within a negative interpretation, but in a positive interpretation, the howlet represents Yaakov, you understand, and the Zerah Yaakov, or the seed of Jacob, the true Beta Israel. And here we have Moa Anbesa, Ze'im Negeda Yehuda, Kedamawi, Haile Selassie, Shiyume Gaziabi, and Negush Neges Ethiopia. So now this howlet, you understand, this obelisk, this stela was taken during the fascist invasion by Mussolini, being powered by the Vatican. Are you seeing the connection? Babylon, you understand? You know, the evil brother. Now, Sate represents a woman. You understand? And Sate also represents a mother church, the Roman church, which if you connect the history of Rome and Ethiopia and the Kibber Nagesh and Solomon and Sheba, you'll see some common roots. In other words, we have this story of Cain where Abel, Cain and Abel. You understand? Then Cain and Sate. You understand? Then Horus or Heru and Seti, but notice the Sate in this sense is not the same Sate or Seth as the other Sate, but it's more or less a literary pun. You understand? A clever use of word, you understand, to represent Sate, not the Seth of the Bible, Tekama, let to know, or the Redato, the Redeate, the disciple, but Sate, in other words, to say bitch ass. You understand? Basically, that bitch ass brother right there, who killed and set up his brother from the oldest version, you understand, of the legend of Osar and Isis or Set, and then also Sate. You understand? So this very interesting connection with Ethiopia, the 14 provinces, the missing obelisk that was swallowed up by who?